Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cove Media. Glad you're here, whether you're here just to watch, you want to learn something, or you just need to decompress for a little bit. We're glad you're here, and we're going to get into things today. So, last lesson in our series of making our very own Pong game, we've started getting the ball moving and a little bit of collision on the top and bottom of our screen. So today we're going to be continuing that collision. We're actually going to get the ball to bounce off the player paddles. We'll add a little bit of acceleration in there to make the gameplay a little bit more interesting. And as a temporary measure to test everything out, we'll be adding a more or less a two-player function. We'll be adding movement to the AI paddle, just so we can get everything tested out until in a lesson or two we get to the actual AI of the paddle. All right. So we're going to bring up our code. We're just going to test to make sure everything is working correctly. There we go. Paddle works. The ball's moving a little bit slow. We'll speed that up in a little bit. And we will get on to everything. So the first thing we will do is twofold. We're going to do our paddle collision, and we're going to add player manual movement for the AI paddle, which is the one on the right side. We'll add the AI control here first, just because we're already here. It's up towards. So if we want to, from the top, we're going to scroll down to where our key presses are handled, and so this is for the player, and we're just going to hit enter, a shift tab to bring it back, and we're going to add a couple more lines here, or a few more lines I should say. If keys Pygame, and so now this is again what we're going to be controlling the AI paddle with for this lesson, just so we can test out everything. And so for this, I'm just going to K underscore up, and this is the arrow. We're going to be using the arrow keys that are usually towards the bottom right hand side of your keyboard. Colon, and we're going to do AI underscore paddle dot Y, and we're going to do minus equals paddle speed. And this is to make the paddle go up. And then one more line, or two more lines, one more if statement. Pygame dot capital K underscore and down. Dot Y. And just to go over this again, for going up, we're subtracting the paddle speed, and go down we're adding, just because in a vast majority of cases in a 2D environment, going up ends up actually being negative because of how things are flipped around. It's just how things typically work. So we're going to test that real quick just by hitting F5. Make sure everything is going to run like we expect it to. And there we go. Our player paddle's moving, our AI paddle's moving. Now one thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put that restriction in, because currently it can just go in and out of the window. So we're going to stop that, and we're just going to head down just a little bit to here, and we're going to basically copy what's above, but we're doing it with the AI paddle instead of the player paddle. You could completely just take that line above, copy and paste it, and just change a few things around if you want as well, but I'm just going to go here and type it all out. I'm going to save that, bring in F5, hit F5, and now the paddle will not go on an infinite adventure, and the ball still will pass through, but we're going to add collision there in just a minute. All right, now that we can do that, we are going to add in the collision. We're going to scroll down a little bit, and here we're going to do just call ball paddle collision. I'll change this to wall just to give a little bit more clarification. Enter. We're going to do if ball dot. Oop, I misspelled that. Thankfully, a lot of this is built-in functionality, so we're not having to do a whole lot here. So here, if ball collides with the player paddle, or our ball is colliding with our AI paddle, we want it to shift directions. So all we're going to have to do is ball going to be times equal -1. So like above it, when we're hitting the top or bottom, all we want to do is take that ball movement and multiply it by -1, which just reverses this direction. Same thing here, but instead of the Y direction, we're doing the X. So we're just going to quickly test that to make sure it is working correctly. And there we go. Something we'll do real quick just to speed this up. We're going to come up, scroll to the top, and we are just going to set that speed a little bit higher. 5. There we go. Oh, almost missed it. There we go. And we have the very important but basic but important functionality of the game. It is now working. Now, unfortunately, we haven't put an end state or a goal state in, so that ball is technically just going to keep traveling forever. But now we're going to stop it there. Now, to just make things a little bit more interesting, we're going to add acceleration into the any time the ball comes into contact with one of the paddles where you want it to accelerate. So we're going to come up top, and we need to add a new constant. We're just going to call it ball acceleration. Sure I am spelling that correctly. Technically doesn't matter as long as however you spell it's how you use it in the code, but I try to keep it correct. So we're going to put 1.05, and what will that does is it'll once we put it in the code, every time the ball makes contact, it is going to increase the speed by 5%. So we're going to scroll back down. I'm going to come back to our ball paddle collision, if I can speak. And we're going to change a few things and add one thing. So instead of doing our just reversing direction, we're going to do equals ball dx, well, negative. We're having times our ball acceleration. And now this one has to be, we have to use the whole proper equation in this so that everything is calculated correctly. Because what's going to happen over time, this value is going to keep going up, and if we just use the -1, it won't function 100%. Now with that, we also have to call our ball dy, and here we can just do our times equals ball acceleration because we're not needing it to reverse direction in this case. And now everything works correctly. You may not notice it at first, but every hit, it's going to go a little bit faster. Oh, all right. And so there, we've added some temporary additional movement to the AI paddle, and that's also how you would do a 2-player mode. We will be taking that out soon to add some AI, but if you wanted some player versus player instead of the AI, you would just add this extra information here for player input. We've added collision to the paddles and also acceleration just to add that little bit more to our game. So that ends what we're doing today. I'm glad you all stopped by. Hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Have a good time.